USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
As last week ended, President Trump was saying he was hoping the country would be reopened for business despite the coronavirus pandemic by Easter Sunday, April 12th. However, yesterday he announced he's extending social distancing guidelines as a result of the virus for several more weeks.
We will be extending our guidelines to April 30th. To slow the spread.
New York City's mayor calling it a last resort. Bill de Blasio saying he has authorized police to issue $500 tickets to people who violate social distancing rules amid the coronavirus pandemic. Pope Francis calling for a temporary worldwide ceasefire. He called for the global halt to hostilities yesterday, saying countries need to protect their people from the coronavirus pandemic. And this is USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I think I've turned a corner in not having so much fatigue. That was my initial problem, was I was just tired all the time. So I think it's helping me with that. I think it's a whole lot better as a supplement than a lot of other products. Basically, you heal from the cellular level up. That's why nutrition is so important. Having whole foods is very important for health. I really think that it's been helping me overall.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code USA.
Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson declaring a disaster in the city of Jonesboro after a Saturday tornado touched down there. The National Weather Service says that it was an EF3 tornado. It did serious damage to downtown Jonesboro, but only a few minor injuries were reported. An EF1 touchdown in nearby Greene County. Checks from the recently passed coronavirus economic stimulus bill should be arriving in American bank accounts and mailboxes within the next 3 to 4 weeks, according to Treasury Chief Stephen Mnuchin. A family of 4 could get up to $3,400, while an individual taxpayer would receive around $1,200. On this day in history, President Ronald Reagan was shot and wounded after a speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel. John Hinckley Jr. later disclosed that he was motivated by wanting to impress actress Jodie Foster. This is USA Radio News.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Isolated thunderstorms likely today, otherwise overcast skies. Highs around 70, easterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for isolated thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 55, mainly clear skies and quiet. Daytime highs approaching 74 tomorrow, mainly clear skies. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 62 degrees.
Broadcasting worldwide from the Ashby Real Estate Broadcast Studio. This is Hip Radio Network, Georgetown, your hometown station.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The switch is on. Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hip and Ken Covington.
Hey, good morning, Georgetown. Time now 7:17 a.m. And thanks for waking up with us here on your show. It is Good Morning Georgetown. A little bit of a foggy night overnight, but things today should be a little bit better as far as the weather goes. Yesterday we needed some rain. We got it, and thankful for that. Appreciate you joining us. We got a great show lined up today. Before he comes in here in a minute, Joshua Harris of the Oak Ridge Disciple House is our Tuesday co-host. Good to have him via remote. And then also my good friend and a friend of many, and very excited at 8 a.m., We're going to have Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies. Andrew also used to work for Fox Sports Southwest and the San Antonio Spurs, and so it's going to be great to have him on the show for all of you Aggie fans, and we're going to have a lot of fun here this morning. As I said, though, we got a special guest here this morning, and give me 1 second because I forgot to do something here before we bring him on. I know he is eagerly waiting, and we're going to go ahead and bring him on now. Hold on. Oh, wait just a minute. There we go. Now we're going to bring him on. It's our good friend Josh. Josh, where are you at?
Coming to you live from Copper's Cove. Good morning, Georgetown. How's everybody doing this morning?
Hey, I got good morning to you, Josh. Oh, that's hilarious, man. You were just sliding in there on the side of us, and I had Doug on the show yesterday, man, and so whenever you slid in, it said Doug Groves Program Insurance Group. That is not Doug. That is Joshua. What's up?
Hey, Doug. Good morning, though. Thanks for all you do for the community. Good morning, Rob.
Man, I'm glad to have you back, man. This is fun. It feels it doesn't, I like having you here, but it feels like you're here this morning, man.
It's fun coming to you from the Cove. It's crazy that we're having to do it like this now, but you know what? I've finally caught up with technology a little bit and got this Zoom downloaded onto my phone, and it's not as personal and fun to not be there in the studio with you. But you know what? In these changing times, we're going to have to just get used to the normal that we've got, make the best of it. And, man, let's just keep moving forward, So good morning, Rob. Thanks for having me. Let me do this with you on Tuesday mornings. Good morning, Georgetown. We love you. Today's going to be a good day regardless of where we are and what we're doing. We're going to just let God lead us, and we're going to make it through it, Rob.
And yesterday when I do the show by myself, there's 5 people on it, and then they see your face on there and it shoots up. So I'm glad
it blows up, doesn't it? So, man, I tell you what, I see you there in the green room and I'm in the red room, and let's rock and roll and have a great morning.
It's going to be a lot of fun this morning with Josh joining us. I can't wait to get things rocking and rolling here. Josh, I wanted to start this morning. It's so much easier whenever I have a guest on such as yourself, because I wanted to start this morning. It's hard for me to kind of come up with ideas and things like that. And I wanted to start this morning because I wanted to ask you, what is the last dream that you remember? Because I have a very hard time remembering dreams. I'm going to share mine with you because it's stupid.
Okay.
But what is the last dream that you remember?
I'm sitting back and remembering. I've been one of those guys my whole life where I don't remember a lot of my dreams. I know I do. I know I do have them. I don't remember a lot of them unless they're vivid. So as you're sharing, let me try to think back and try to remember the last dream that I can remember. Oh man, it just came. It's really crazy too, Rob.
What is it?
Yeah, it's. You want to share yours first, or I literally, as I was saying, that just popped through, and here recently, if you remember, I did a public thing with the guys about healing as far as, different things that we go through. And the last dream that I can remember having was about my dad. And I haven't dreamed about my dad in many, many years. And I remember now having the dream. It was Christmas, and it wasn't Christmas time when I had it. It was just about 2 months ago, maybe. It was Christmas time, and I was 9 years old, give or take, when my dad walked out on us. And I remember I dreamt about me coming downstairs and getting my first bike that Christmas morning. And my dad was sitting there, and he said, "There's your bike, son. That's the one you've been wanting. That's your first bike." And I said that, and I remember saying, "That's not my first bike." He goes, "Yeah, but that's the bike I'm going to teach you how to pop a wheelie on." And it was just as crazy. And I woke up, and I was just all day, it just kind of weighed on me, and I hadn't dreamt about him in a long time. And I knew it was time to really release him. And so I did that as a kind of a ceremony out of the old man graveyard out there at the Ridge. And that's the last dream that I can really remember having. That's crazy that you asked that.
Well, my dream, my dream's kind of a joke, man. Now I don't even want to say it because yours is serious.
No, I didn't mean to. No, it's good and bad. God used his dream all kind. I do believe that. I don't believe in a lot of the silliness of dreams, but I do know that God uses our dreams to talk to us and to tell us when it's time to maybe let go of some things, and that's what he did for me. But please share your dream.
So I had the stupidest dream. I mean, I've had a lot of dumb dreams, I'm talking about sleeping dreams, okay? Not real life dreams. I'm talking because that'd be horrible. You know, I've had a lot of stupid real life dreams. No, I've had a lot of stupid sleeping dreams. I don't use that word often, by the way. I don't like using that word stupid very often, but I'm going to use it because you know.
Well, as Forrest Gump would say, Rob, stupid is as stupid does.
Well, what are you and I always whenever we see something, we'll go stupid.
Yeah, now that's when, and even I like David England picked up on that when we say something or do it. Come on, that was just not. Come on, that was stupid.
Yeah, but
we don't mean it in a mean way. It's just a fun thing that we do.
Yeah, we got it. We can't give away all the secrets, but I will give one away this morning. Josh, that's stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah,
well, come on, share it though.
All right, share it though. So here's this morning's stupid. Hey, by the way, if you've had a dream, whether it was stupid or that's a funny word, by the way. I know I get sidetracked, Josh, and see, now that you're back on the show with me here on Tuesday this morning, I get sidetracked a lot.
Hey, that's okay. It's not easy doing something like this, especially amongst all the things that we've got going on and the different reports and things are changing daily. And so, you know what, we're going to just roll and just let God kind of lead us and have a good time. But if you do have a dream that you want to share, go ahead and put that up on Facebook Live or send a text message. Did you give that number this morning for anybody that wants to text in any questions or thoughts?
Yeah,
this morning?
Text us if you're listening on the HRN app. We've got a lot of folks already joining us this morning on HRN. On that app, you can text us. Let us know where you're listening from as well. We'd love to chat with you on Facebook as well as on text message, 512-686-2030. Again, that number to the studio, 512-686-2030. Real quick, Josh, the definition of stupid, so I don't even know if this really makes sense. It's just a weird word if you think about it. The definition of stupid, it's an adjective. It can be used as an adjective or a noun, of course. The adjective is having or showing a great lack of intelligence or common sense.
That's me a lot of days. I mean, is my picture there? Is my picture there up there with that definition that you found?
So here's my dream. A few nights ago, hey, and I'm getting some echo back. I don't know if that's coming from your phone or if it's from it might be coming from the phone a little. Do you have a way to turn down the volume on your phone just a little bit?
I do.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about the
I turned it down to half. How does that sound?
Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay, but I do hear it breaking up a little bit. I don't know. I've got a great signal out here at my house in Copper's Cove.
It may have broken up just for a second. How's that now, Josh? Am I coming through?
I hear you okay. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Yeah, and that's a lot better because I'm not echoing back as much. So here's the deal, Josh. The dream that I had was a dream that I had. It was a few days ago. I was at a dinner. I'm not going to say the names of the people that were there, just because it's not really relevant. Well, I'll say is one of my mentors. I'll say it like that.
Sure.
I was at a dinner. It's one of my broadcasting mentors. And he invited me to this dinner. I really can't remember who else was there other than me, and it was really weird because all of the big-time broadcasters were in one room, and then it was weird because if you're brought somewhere as a visitor, you think you should sit with them, right?
Right.
Okay, well, we didn't. The visitors had to sit in this other. It's like the little kids' table. Okay, it was like if you were a visitor, you had to sit at the little kids' table at Christmas. That kind of table.
We've all had that experience for sure.
Yeah, so I go over. I'm sitting at the quote unquote little kids table. It's a huge conference that I get invited to. Somewhere in the middle of this eating, an envelope was brought to me and about 20 other people in the little kids room. Basically, I'll quit saying that because it wasn't a little kids room, in the visitor room, and it's keys to a new car. Josh, this was so weird. It's keys to a brand new car, and they said, "Here you go. These are keys to your new car. Go find it." And it turns out that they gave the visitors, there was 20 of us or so, they gave us a brand new car. And do you know what new car that I was given? And I have no idea to this day why it was this car and this particular dream. Take a guess what car it was.
What kind of car was it, Rob?
You don't have any idea what you think it might be?
Okay, give me a category and maybe I can guess.
What
category would you find?
I don't want to offend anybody out there that has one of these, but just a really goofy looking SUV type vehicle.
Okay, SUV.
A goofy looking
but
one.
it's goofy looking a little bit.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm looking.
Go ahead, man. I don't know.
Dude, it's a Kia Soul.
Kia Soul. Okay.
Why would I dream about somebody giving me a Kia Soul? I just don't understand, man. It's just stupid.
It's stupid.
That was the last.
That is a little bit wild, man.
That was the very last dream that I remember. And to this,
now let me ask you this:
I don't know.
Have you ever? And please don't get Kia. Don't get offended. Anybody has one of these? Has it been one of those vehicles that you see on the road and you go, man, that's just not a good-looking SUV? Has it always maybe kind of been something that you've always thought I just don't like the way that look? We all have cars. We go, I don't like the way that look. Has that been in your mind as those things have come out? And so it could have been one of those things that subconsciously you just don't like the way that particular vehicle looks, or
I think what happened. Bridget knew. Bridget's watching this morning. She knew right away because I told her about this dream. I'm about to get. I'm working on getting my Kia Optima wrapped for HRN. So I'm getting the car wrapped. And I remember thinking, I was looking, that's exactly what it was now that I think about it, because I was looking at Kia vehicles that have vinyl wraps. And what I'm talking about a wrap is, when you put a sticker all the way around the vehicle. So
I asked you about that when you told me you were going to have yours done. I said, how does that affect the resale? Because I don't know, I've always seen them and thought, man, that somebody you have to be really dedicated and serious about what you're doing to have that done to your vehicle, because I didn't know that's something that comes off easily and doesn't mess with the paint and the exterior of the vehicle. And you said, no, once you're done with that, that just comes right off. And I didn't know that. Yeah,
you can peel it right off, supposedly. And John over at Roberts Printing is the one working on that for me, and he's one of our sponsors here on Hip Radio Network. He said, man, it actually kind of protects the paint when you pull it off. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Wow. And doesn't fade it in any way? I mean, I guess the whole thing's covered, and so certain areas are not, if it covers the whole vehicle, you don't have a newer looking where it's not been, or older looking where it's not been because of sun baking or anything like that. Does the top get wrapped as well?
No, I'm not going to wrap the top because my car, I don't know if you've seen it or not. You've seen it, but I don't know if you've been in it. It's got the moon roof that goes all the way across it from top to bottom.
Well, no, I was told a couple of years ago when I met you by some of your other radio partners and things not to ride with you because of your driving. That's why Nathan drives all the time, because he's a lot safer driver. So I was told never to get into a vehicle when you're driving it. So,
hey, well, you're right. Hey, what do you know about this morning, Josh? Here we go. Get ready for this. Yeah, here we go.
You didn't play that's my theme.
He rides with her. She
Come on
rides
now.
with me.
And we do play for Bridget often.
Yeah, here it is, Josh. She rides with her. He rides with me. Summertime up in the LBC.
I have no idea. It does have a good groove to it, though, this morning.
I found the instrumental. I can't play.
You cannot play the rest of that song. No, sir.
I can't
no, sir.
play
This
the
is
song.
A family-friendly show, Rob. Yep.
I can't play the song, but it's summertime up in the LBC.
No, Rob. We just cut our listeners down to half. Hey, listen, but seriously, though, if the top's not wrapped, the Texas sun wreaks havoc on our vehicles. If the top's not wrapped and you've got it wrapped all the way around, let's say you wrap it and you keep it for 2 years, you peel that wrap off, all that paint's been protected underneath where the wrap's been. But the top of your vehicle is going to have some oxidizing or whatever happens with that sun. Do you worry about that at all with resale? Maybe that's a good question to ask your sponsor there.
I don't. The reason I don't is because my car, it has a glass all the way across the top. It's a moonroof from the. It's all the way across, man.
It is not, Rob.
Yeah, it is. No, I promise. You haven't seen. You need to take another look at it. You need to get on down there and get the rest of it.
The whole thing is not glass. You do not have a Batmobile, Rob.
A little bit. The front and the back though is glass. It's got the glass moonroof on the back too. If you're in the back seat,
the whole thing is the moonroof.
Yeah, it is, and it's summertime.
Rob,
LBC.
have the only Kia moon car.
No, it's pretty much. I'll have to go out there and look at it, but it is glass across most of the top. It really
so you don't
is.
worry about it then. I guess that, I mean, listen, a lot of people do it. I just wasn't aware that you could actually take it off and it doesn't, I thought once you did it, that was done. That's pretty cool.
Well,
maybe I'll get the truck wrapped in Oak Ridge stuff all the way around. And
I mean, Josh, don't get mad at me over. I mean, man, no, I'm just kidding, man. Well, Joshua Harris here at the Oak Ridge Disciple. Josh, I wanted to ask you, we're having fun. See, that's why I love having you on the show, man, because you and I have been friends for a long time, and you're running a great ministry there with Oak Ridge and helping out guys who are in need, and you and I can just bounce ideas. There it is right there. We can have a lot of fun. Josh, I did want to ask you this morning, we'll switch gears, be a little bit more serious here for a little bit. How are things out at the Ridge going, and kind of how are you guys coping with this whole COVID-19 pandemic, man?
So I tell you what, Rob, just a few weeks ago, we were having fun with this thing, me and you in the studio, and going, people need to calm down, and it's just the flu. And I tell you what, very quickly that changed. My attitude changed when we really started to see how serious this was. And so if there's anything that I can say is please, 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 that's why I'm working from home and keeping myself safe so that I don't get sick, so that my kids don't get sick. And we're all taking it very serious now. So what we've done, Rob, is we have literally shut the mountain down. We still have 8 guys out there. We have 2 beds open, but at this time, just so you know, we are not accepting any new residents. We just can't take the chance, because here's the way we're looking at it. If one guy gets sick up on that mountain, you can guarantee that we won't know it right away, of course, and every guy will get sick. And once that happens, per the government's requirements, we have to shut down completely and isolate and quarantine the whole thing. And I just can't even imagine getting that virus up there, because it's just, and the staff would get sick and those things. So what we've done is we've shut it down completely. We have teachers that come out every day and volunteers that come out and do different things on different days of the week with the guys. We have shut all of that down. We've told everybody to stay home. I only go when I need to get office stuff done, do staff meetings, check on residents, make sure I've got a great staff. So good morning, Brett and Jim and Kevin and Wade up there taking care of things. So bottom line is we've shut it all down. We've isolated everybody. We're only coming into town when we absolutely have to maybe take care of something quick for a widow, something like that. But we're not meeting with people. We're not doing anything. We are taking this as serious as our president is telling us to, and we're doing our part in social distancing. And so I'm working from home 90% of the time. The staff is not going out and interacting, so that we keep that mountain safe. As long as we need to, we know God will sustain us. So it's a different world right now, and we're complying with that. We're hoping to get things open back up. We've shut down our Thursday night open house testify night. And like I said, all the teachers are staying off the mountain, and we're trying to do everything we can to make sure that we don't carry that virus up there, because once it's up there, it's over. So we're being real careful right now.
How are the attitude, if you don't mind me asking, the attitude of the guys right now? Because I know that they love to be out in the community and help.
Great. We have a group of 8 men up there right now with a great attitudes. They're understanding. It's not easy to be in those tight quarters, but we have had just a great atmosphere up there. The guys are working hard together, understanding that, hey, you know what? And I'll tell you, the attitude is great, because they know where they could be today is completely different where God has them, and that they were selected by God to be up there during this time, to not be on the streets. God pulled them out of that madness, because I guarantee you half of them or all of them, if they were out on the streets right now, running the streets in that drug and alcohol world, things like that, they would absolutely more than likely get sick and then have big problems. So it was hard at first, and then we all started to really kind of realize, hey, you are in the best place that you could possibly be right now with the world that we're living in. So every one of the guys is very grateful to be safe, to be up there, and to have this time alone with God to really transform their hearts. And so it's a good atmosphere right now.
Man, that's great, and what you guys do. Of course, Joshua Harris here this morning, our Tuesday co-host. Also, the founder of Oak Ridge Disciple House, a sponsor here on the show. The Oak Ridge Disciple House, a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry, helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. There's light at the end of the tunnel. If you know someone who needs that light, it can be found at the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Josh, appreciate you being here. Have a great day, man.
Yeah, you too. God bless. And could I just say before I sign off one thing? But I'm not going to harp on it today, all kidding aside. But listen, folks, Rob has been really pushing to help the small businesses, the businesses that support his work and those things. We need your support. We really do. I'm just going to be honest. We have seen giving, and we are 100% faith funded. We do not accept and get a funding from the state and those kind of things. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We've just decided years ago to just really rely on what God's doing through his people and through scholarships and things like that. But we have seen that completely. I mean, literally the faucet completely turn off, and we understand it. People are afraid right now. People don't know what's going to happen with the economy. Millions and millions have lost their jobs, and we get that. But if you're able, please, I still have to, Rob's been saying it for days now. Bills still have to be paid. We still have to keep the lights on. We still have to pay for insurance. We carry millions of dollars of insurance up there because we have a multi-peril type business, for God. And I've got multiple people up there. So we have to carry all those things still have to be taken care of. So please, if you're able to help us with the work that we do, we absolutely need your support now more than ever. So please go onto the website. The address is there. Everything is tax deductible. We are a 501c3, and you'll get a giving statement. We need your help, Georgetown and surrounding areas, to continue this work, because if I can't pay the bills, I can't afford this place by myself. I need your support.
Yeah, and I'm going to put the link there for those that are on Facebook. Remember, we're not just on Facebook. We also stream this through the Hip Radio Network app, which is the heart and soul of this station. But I am going to put it, Joshua, Oak Ridge. I can usually multitask really well, but for whatever reason, whenever I'm talking about typing a comment on Facebook while I'm on the air, I can't do it. I have to sit here and say, I have to do it and say, okay, I'm typing it out on the chat window. Visit them online at Oak, and see, then the K didn't work. Oak.
Yeah, let me give you the website. It's www.oakridgedisciplehouse.com. The address, if you want to mail in, of course, we don't have credit cards. We don't want to get people in debt, so we don't take credit cards online or anything like that. That's just what we've done up to this point. We may add that button down the road. We do run a lot of little fundraisers just to give people an opportunity to support the guys as we put them up on Facebook. But it's Oak Ridge Ministries at P.O. Box 542, Florence, Texas 76527. That's P.O. Box 542, Florence, Texas 76527. And like I said, we don't take cash, things like that. Just checks or money orders made out to Oak Ridge Ministries. And we will just be so thankful from all of us at Oak Ridge to just be able to continue this work. I've got enough in our resources to go a couple of months without any donations coming in. But after that, Rob, we're going to be in trouble. And so I'm trusting God. He's never let us down. We just celebrated 10 years, and he has never, ever let us down. We've paid every bill that's ever come in the day it comes in. And that's being completely faith funded. And so we know God's going to provide. If he wants us to continue this work, then he'll touch the hearts of people to help us. So please, if you're able, give to Oak Ridge and give to all nonprofits that are doing good community work out there, please.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And you brought this into a pretty good segue, because I wanted to let folks know this morning that if you are a business in need, even as Joshua talking about his needs, we want to hear those needs, and we want to figure out a way, how can we help you at Hip Radio Network Georgetown? We've teamed up with Roberts Printing and John Montgomery to be able to help businesses in Georgetown. And that help is going to depend on the community. But number one, we have to know what your needs are. So if you're a small business in Georgetown or smaller surrounding communities, and when I say smaller surrounding communities, I'm talking about Andice, I'm talking about Thrall, Thorndale, Granger. Friends, these are all communities that need support right now. There's a lot of really, in the small towns, it's going to be a lot worse, because there's a lot of folks in those small towns that are hurting right now, and they depend on that income from their small communities. Excuse me. Coughing this morning. Man, don't start coughing. What I'm getting at, friends, is if you know somebody, if you're a small business or you know of a small business owner who needs help, I kindly ask that you open up and you share that with us so we can help you. And the best way to do that.
Yeah, don't let your pride get the best of you. And listen, I'm not reaching out or calling out for help because I don't trust the Lord, but he uses his people. And so not everybody's able to. I know some that have to completely shut down just to feed their families right now. This is a serious time that we're in, unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen giving stop like this, but it's a scary time. And so, if you are able to help these smaller businesses, please do that. Most of them, like we are feeding these guys through your support. A lot of people are just trying to just make it every day now with the way this thing is shut life down. So
I've posted it on our Facebook chat stream. There's a lot of folks joining us this morning there. It is hrngeorgetown.com/support, hrngeorgetown.com/support. That is if you are a business, a small business in Georgetown or smaller surrounding communities. We're going to find a way to try to help you. And the way that we're going to do that is through an auction. And so maybe you're an individual that's watching or listening to this show this morning here on Hip Radio Network Georgetown, your hometown station. Maybe you are a listener this morning. Maybe you're watching on Facebook this morning and you say, hey, I just want to help out the businesses in town. How can I do? Maybe you're already a business owner yourself and everything's going good for you. Or maybe you're a business that is struggling, but you also want to help out. The way that you do that is through our auction. We're going to hold an online auction in mid-April here on HRN. It's going to be a live auction streamed on Facebook. It's also going to be a silent auction on the back end. And the way that you can donate an item, and that's what we really need, right? We've been blessed so far to receive over $4,000 of value. Now, of course, if nobody bids on that, Josh, that value doesn't really mean anything, unfortunately. But we've received over $4,000 in value of items so far, but we need more items.
What kind of items are you looking to? What kind of things can people donate, Rob? And what kind of things are you looking for? What kind of things have you gotten so far without maybe giving away too many details?
Yeah, we've gotten photo booth rental that's valued at over $1,200 from Blake Nicholson at TapSnap. Tori Clark over at Spa Lux has given a gift certificate for her spa, and those are things that are helping these businesses. Kyle Simank over at Guns Plus has given a gun course certificate. How many know right now if that may be something that would work well for you? People right now want to carry. A lot of folks want to carry. They want to get that concealed handgun license. Oh
my goodness, the news have been talking about that. They say it's through the roof right now. People that are that never thought about it before are now going to getting their license, getting guns, things like that. Because they're talking about it on the news, and I don't know how real and true it is because you just don't know a lot of times these days. They're saying they're not arresting people for certain things right now, and because they don't want to bring these maybe people that are sick into the jails. And it's a crazy time we're in right now.
Yeah, well, Kyle has given that. He's been in Georgetown a long time. I've known him forever, so that's another item. Here at HRN, we've got some ad packages that we're going to put in that auction. With SHN Sports and hopefully football season will get going again in the fall. We're going to have some ad packages.
Oh, goodness.
So yes. Those are just some of the items. We've had some food gift certificates as well. And look, friends, I don't care what the items are. If they're in good shape, if you've got something that you just like to donate to auction, please do that. We need support. We want to raise funds for the community. Rachel Hancock over at Something Social has been doing a tremendous job helping businesses downtown on the square. We had her on the show, and she has been selling prints, and she's done a phenomenal job, I believe, now raising over $2,500. And so it takes people like Rachel and what we're trying to do and many others in the community that are going to be able to help and get through this. Joshua, the whole reason this idea for me started, of course, when I had Click, we were always wanting to find ways to help out, no matter if it was in Georgetown or when the the Bastrop Complex fires happened. We had a fundraiser for that. We raised quite a bit of funds, and we had basically a community-wide sale there in our parking lot. But we want to find ways to give back, Joshua, and it's how do we do that? And I think all of us have an opportunity right now to really help out and give back and to help our fellow neighbors, and that's what we want to do. This idea started for me, one, I always want to try to find ways to give back and get people involved in giving back because it's important. That's what we're called to do on this earth. That's what we have to do. But then secondly, I had a lady, a friend of mine, reach out to me, and she was brutally honest, just like I asked business owners to be. I said, what are your needs? And she put it on the hrngeorgetown.com/support on that form. She straight up said, look, I need $650 to catch up on rent that I'm going to be behind on, and I've also had to get rid of an employee temporarily that was making $300 a week. And so she gave me a dollar amount and said that's really what I would try to raise. Now, I told her, I said, I can't guarantee that we're going to be able to to help you financially if this auction, if nobody bids on the item. But I said, I'm praying and hoping that they will when we have it. I said, look, I can't guarantee we're going to be able to give you everything, but we can at least give you something if this auction is successful. And I know the lady. I know where her heart is. I know that she's really struggling right now. Josh, that's why we've started this and why we want to help out folks right here in our own community in Georgetown, Texas.
Well, I know that they work because just this last year, of course, we have an incredible ministry partner who happens to and family who happens to be the family and the mom of one of our graduates. And every year she puts on an auction or a fundraiser for us. And it was in Georgetown. We actually did it down on the square a few months ago. And man, Georgetown responded, donated all kinds of great items for the auction and for the raffle, but a great team around that. And I think I can't remember the exact number, but I would think it was like $8,000 that they raised for Oak Ridge to just add to our giving and our budget. And it was a great turnout. So I know Georgetown can respond. It was a different time because a lot of people, all the businesses were going strong and a lot of people came out and bid on these items. And we had a great night, great response. And so I know Georgetown can come through for you. It's just going to be, it's a different time because some people can't give right now or can't donate things because their business is struggling. So Georgetown, come out and support this effort that Rob's put together, and let's go hand in hand and help these businesses stay afloat while we work through this coronavirus situation.
For those on the Facebook live stream, and thank you for that, Joshua, I just put the link on there. It is hrngeorgetown.com/auction. That is hrngeorgetown.com/auction. Again, John Montgomery teaming up on that effort with us here at HRN. John of Roberts Printing Company.
Thank you, John.
And I mean, I'm looking around the house the other day, Josh, and I've got some items that I'm going to be able to give away. I'm looking around. I see some items, things that I have that are in great condition. I don't want to just put junk in the auction, but I've got a lot of.
It's going to be things.
I mean, I've got some electronic devices that I'm looking around saying I don't really need those, and I haven't really touched them, so I can put that into the auction. And those are the kind of things. If you've got good, even if it's a used item and it's something that you maybe not use anymore, let us know, and we'll make a suggestion on that, and we'll make the final determination if we can have it or not. But it's those kind of things that think outside the box during this whole situation. What can I do? Do I have something that I can donate? And that the proceeds of that, here's how it's going to work, Josh, and this is what's really cool about how we've done it. The way that it's going to benefit businesses in Georgetown is, number one, they had to fill out the form. Now, there's some people that filled out the form that don't need any financial compensation. They just want to get their products and services out there. And so the way that it works, but there are some who have submitted that says, yes, I need some financial help. The way that it's going to work is, if you are a business who has filled out that form, you will be eligible to receive the benefits from that auction. The way that it works is this. It's really three different options. Number one is, if you donate an item as a business, you can elect to have 100% of those proceeds go into a pool that everybody shares in. Now, you may have a business that's struggling and say, you know what? I want to put my own item or my own gift certificate or my own product and service in that auction, and I would like to keep 50% of those proceeds, but I'll donate the other 50% to the remaining pool. That's one other way.
Hey,
and then
that's a great idea.
And then the third way is, then this will work for individual or for businesses that really need help also. They can say, look, I want to donate and I want to give 100% of those proceeds to the entire pool of the auction. And that's the way it's going to work. And 100% of those proceeds, minus our expenses, are going to go back to those businesses who need the financial help. I'm excited about it, Josh. I think we're going to have a pretty good rallying call. Again, we just need those items, and we just need people in the community to step up in that way if they can. I know a lot of people are hurting right now, but if we can get that support, it's going to go a long way. And I'm very excited about it and the opportunity to help a lot of folks who are being forgotten, because there's a lot of grants that are starting to come about now. I think there's even some community grants and things that are being worked on, but I don't think that a lot of those are going to benefit home-based businesses. And I know a lot of friends who have home-based businesses that are hurting really bad right now. And so we want to be able to help. And that's why I'm saying, Josh, there are so many components to this puzzle where the city is doing a lot of great things. Our Chamber of Commerce is doing great things with the city. We've got folks like Rachel who are helping businesses downtown on the square. And then HRN now is trying to fill that void and really fill that bubble that's being missed right now. And so that's what we're working on.
Yeah, I like
Josh.
that. It's like it's kind. I'm kind of hearing it now. the way you said about some people being able to keep half of what they did. It's kind of like a big garage sale or community-wide auction garage sale. And so it can be any kind of items that might be able to be reused. People can bid on them, and you split it. You're not trying to keep everything for your own purposes out. People need help, and maybe they want to sell stuff and be able to get some money back for things that they're not using anymore, but yet it's great value too. So I think it's an amazing opportunity for Georgetown to really come together and do something big.
So again, if you are a business that needs help, number one, you've got to fill out that form. I'll say it one more time. It's hrngeorgetown.com/support, hrngeorgetown.com/support. If you have an item, you're an individual that would like to donate an item. If you're a business that would like to donate an item, go to hrngeorgetown.com/auction. And I'll say that again at the end of the show. That's what we're trying to do. Again, Joshua Harris joining us here this morning as co-host from the Oak Ridge Disciple House. Josh, been a fun morning so far, man. I love having you here because it's just so easy to flow and just to have that summertime in the LBC type feeling, Josh.
Yeah, I love it, Rob. And thank you so much for just letting me be a part of this. I've always just had such a great time, whether we were doing sports together or whatever. The connection that we've got and the vibe that we've got, the spirit that we share is an amazing experience for me as well. And, I just love to just come on with you and come on down and get the rest of it and just have a great day, man. And it is spring. And so it's time to, it's a good time to go around the house right now and do some spring cleaning and contribute to this auction and get rid of stuff. And I know I've had so much time here at the house, and I've gotten rid of it. Lots of things that clothes that I haven't worn, been able to donate it to the men's home closet, things like that down out at the Ridge. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't worn this in a year, and I probably won't. And so I've done some good spring cleaning here at the house, and you could do that too. Give to Rob's auction that effort, and it's the time to really kind of clean some things out and get rid of things that just not necessary in your life anymore.
Basically, what you can do is if you got things, you can get on down there and get the rest of them. Josh.
You got to get – that's it, Rob.
Just get on down there and get the rest of it.
Rob, what else is going on today?
So here's what we got going today. A little bit later here on Good Morning Georgetown, here in about 6 or 7 – it's probably going to be closer to 10 minutes, actually. Good friend of mine, someone that I look up to tremendously. And I always talk on this show, if you've been watching this show, if you've been listening to the show for over the years, I talk about just the mentorship in the broadcast industry and meeting some incredible people who give back and want to help people. And very honored today around 8 o'clock, 8:05. It's probably going to be about 10 minutes, bringing on a good friend and someone that is just very energetic, Andrew Monaco, who is now the voice of the Aggies in College Station. So I'm very excited to have him. Andrew used to work with Fox Sports Southwest and the San Antonio Spurs as well, doing their post-game show. He even sat in on a couple of games and did the play-by-play with Sean Elliott before whenever my mind just went blank whenever goodness gracious, Bill Land, the TV voice of the Spurs, whenever Bill Land wasn't able to do some of the games. And so excited to have him, Josh, just a very amazing guy with a lot of energy, and wanted to have him on this morning just to kind of talk a little bit about what he's up to and how things in Aggie land are going. I know there's a lot of Aggie fans. Josh, I know that
Rob, I was going to say, you set me up. You set me up for this. And my family, we love all people, but we do bleed burnt orange. I mean, and so when you sent me this message last night, I said, you're not going to believe the guest that I have on today. He's an amazing guy and so much energy and all that. And then you sent the promotional that you were going to use, and I saw that he was the voice of the Aggies. And I'm not going to lie to you, I thought about sleeping in this morning just a little bit. No, not at all. You said new. How long has he been the voice? That maybe he can answer that if you don't know. But how long has he come on to be the voice of the Aggies? And what's kind of the backstory with that?
Yeah, he joined in 2018, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Dave South, who was the longtime voice of the Aggie for so many years, and just a great Christian man, is Dave South. I've enjoyed seeing his posts on Facebook, and he was there forever, of course. And then Andrew got that call to be the voice of the Aggies. That's one you don't turn away. And so he's been there since 2018
that's
now.
That's a huge opportunity. You bet.
So we're of course going to talk to him. Josh, I did want to ask you real quick. Today is, and we'll talk more about that around the 8:05 hour. Hey man, what is today on the National Day? There's several things. Every day is a national day of something. Josh, every day. Today, I figured that you're really going to enjoy this one because I know how much you like them. Today, March the 31st, it's officially National Tater Day here in United States.
National Tater Day.
National Tater Day. How many of you like a good old tater? Come on down there and get the rest of that.
Come on now. So where did that start? Is that we got some key locations here in our country about potato. Where did that start? How did they make that? Is there any history behind Tater Day?
They think that it originated in Kentucky, of all places. National Tater Day in Kentucky, where they have celebrated Tater Day. I'm going to read it just like that, okay, Josh?
Yeah.
This is from nationaldaycalendar.com, by the way. Here we go. National Tater Day history. History. The day may have originated in Kentucky, where they have celebrated Tater Day for just some time. However, our research was unable to find the creator of National Tater Day.
Creator.
That's it. I mean, that's really the history. That's the most boring history. I mean, how did someone just get bored and say today's National Tater Day?
I don't know, but I was looking at some Today in History, and we're always going to give props to our good buddy Ken for doing that for a long time, as he was able to do the radio show with you and get this thing started. But did you know that this day in history is when the Eiffel Tower officially opened up?
I did not.
Yeah, this day in history, March 31st, the Eiffel Tower opened up. And so I've got some different ones. If we get to it at the end, we'll do some this day in history for you.
We will. We've got some time. There's more, though, Josh. There's more today on this day in history. Okay, I know that you don't like me just throwing things out saying, can you guess what it is? But here's some more this day in history. You ready for this?
Come on.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Today is also National Clams on the Half Shell Day. National Clams on the Half Shell Day.
Are you a big fan of oysters and clams and those kinds of things, Rob?
Not really. Here's how.
I'm not. I've learned over the last couple of years to appreciate seafood, but I'm not an oyster or a clam guy. I've tried it. There's something about the texture of it and things like that. I just don't enjoy it in the flavor. But boy, I know a lot of people that love their clams and oysters.
So this is it. It's National Clam Day. How do you observe National Clam Day? Well, you steam them, you grill them, depending on your preferences. Clam lovers dig in and show the rest of the crowd what they've been missing. I'm not a big fan of that, Josh.
I'm not either. I'm just, I've tried to, because I've noticed that as I've grown up and matured and things like that, my taste that I used to think, oh no, I would never eat this or never eat that. I've even tried sushi over this last year, and I don't like all of it, but there's certain sushi that I've come to enjoy, some really good clean fishes and things like that are so healthy for our bodies because of the oils and things. But I just still have not acquired a taste for clams, oysters, those kinds of things that a lot of people will enjoy as a delicacy.
Well, we're going to step aside here for just a few minutes. Time now, 8 a.m. We'll step back and reset. When we come back, we'll have Andrew Monaco with us, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, joining us. Stay with us, friends. We'll be right back here on Hip Radio Network Georgetown. It's your hometown station. Good Morning Georgetown continues. We'll be back here in just a few moments.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
As last week ended, President Trump was saying he was hoping the country would be reopened for business despite the coronavirus pandemic by Easter Sunday, April 12th. However, yesterday he announced he's extending social distancing guidelines as a result of the virus for several more weeks.
We will be extending our guidelines to April 30th. To slow the spread.
New York City's mayor calling it a last resort. Bill de Blasio saying he has authorized police to issue $500 tickets to people who violate social distancing rules amid the coronavirus pandemic. Pope Francis calling for a temporary worldwide ceasefire. He called for the global halt to hostilities yesterday, saying countries need to protect their people from the coronavirus pandemic. And this is USA Radio News.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I I think I've turned a corner in not having so much fatigue. That was my initial problem, was I was just tired all the time. So I think it's helping me with that. I think it's a whole lot better as a supplement than a lot of other products. Basically, you heal from the cellular level up. That's why nutrition is so important. Having whole foods is very important for health. I really think that it's been helping me overall.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com, and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code USA.
Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson declaring a disaster in the city of Jonesboro after a Saturday tornado touched down there. The National Weather Service says that it was an EF3 tornado. It did serious damage to downtown Jonesboro, but only a few minor injuries were reported. An EF1 touchdown in nearby Greene County. Checks from the recently passed coronavirus economic stimulus bill should be arriving in American bank accounts and mailboxes within the next 3 to 4 weeks. According to Treasury Chief Stephen Mnuchin, a family of 4 could get up to $3,400, while an individual taxpayer would receive around $1,200. On this day in history, President Ronald Reagan was shot and wounded after a speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel. John Hinckley Jr. later disclosed that he was motivated by wanting to impress actress Jodie Foster. This is USA Radio News.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Isolated thunderstorms likely today, otherwise overcast skies. Highs around 70, easterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for isolated thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 55, mainly clear skies and quiet. Daytime highs approaching 74 tomorrow, mainly clear skies. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frombley. Currently, it's 62 degrees.
Broadcasting worldwide from the Ashby Real Estate Broadcast Studio. This is Hip Radio Network, Georgetown, your hometown station.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The switch is on. Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hip and Ken Covington.
Hey, good morning, friends, and welcome back. Top of the 8 a.m. hour here on Hip Radio Network Georgetown. It's Georgetown's hometown station. Appreciate you joining us this morning here on, my goodness, what is today? Is it already, it's Tuesday already. It's just hopping along. Tuesday is the day today. Hey, we are joined by a good friend and a special guest this morning. We always enjoy bringing on our friends here on Good Morning Georgetown. One joy of the show is you never know who you're going to get. And today, very honored and just privileged to have Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, join us. Andrew, good morning to you, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning and howdy.
Good to see you, man. I said, you know, we needed to have a good smile on the show this morning. Joshua, I love Josh. He's one of my best friends, Andrew, but his smile just doesn't compare to yours.
Come on. Good morning, Andrew. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Josh. I don't know how this next hour is going to go after Rob took that shot at you. I mean, it's a compliment to me, so I'm really, really happy.
I know it, man. I know it.
Well,
I got some competition for sure. Well, we're glad to have you this morning. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Andrew, just a little bit of backstory from you. I'm going to read some of this from the 12thman.com when they announced kind of what you're doing here. You've been now the voice of the Aggies. You came, of course, from San Antonio, working with the broadcast team there for the Spurs over 11 seasons, and then in 2018 picking up the just privileged honor to be the play-by-play voice of Aggie football and men's basketball. Of course, the legend Dave South had that for so many years, a great man, and I know a tremendous mentor to you and so many others who retired in August of, I believe it was 2017. Is that correct? Or was it 2018?
2018 would have been his 33rd year, because this past baseball season ends up being 35 at A&M, and for him, 50 years in broadcasting.
Wow, that is just incredible. Well, Andrew here, again, working 11 years with the Spurs, extensive experience in play-by-play of college football and basketball, of course, including college football telecast of the Southeastern Conference, the SEC. You've worked in the Big 12, the ACC, which is the Atlantic Coast Conference, and, of course, Fox Sports Net, CBS Sports Network, NBC Sports Network, Comcast, and ESPN. So just quite the resume, Andrew. And, again, we appreciate you being here this morning. It's always so fun to talk with fellow broadcasters, and I look up to guys like you. You know, I met you several years ago, and I told Josh this. I don't know if you heard it earlier, Andrew, but we are so blessed in the broadcast industry, and I'm not saying it just to butter you up, but guys like you and Bill Schoening and many others, especially in this Texas market, that have just breathed so much life into guys, and I know that you've been a mentor to many. Talk a little bit about your journey, Andrew, and I guess kind of starting a little bit on the personal side, just about how you grew up, where you came from, and then kind of lead into your broadcasting career.
I grew up outside of the Philadelphia area. I grew up, I kid with my children of the hard scrabble streets of Washington Crossing, Pennsylvania, which was anything but. For some reason, just really enjoyed and thought about getting in the business. And actually, guys, I had a high school teacher who used to work at NBC in the 60s and became an English teacher in high school, set up his own television studio. He had a way to get all the old equipment. When NBC was getting new equipment, he had somehow finagled the rights to all of that. And there was a television studio in our high school. And that's when I learned a little bit more about more aspects of broadcasting. But it was the opportunity there, hands-on. And I mean, a little bit everything. So it was good to appreciate all the other positions because none of this is done, fans hear our voice on radio. They see us on TV, but the crew is a whole lot larger. And you really appreciate all those people that you work with. So that was really like an introduction. And then the University of Maryland, broadcast journalism major there. And from there, the highlights, I started in Atlantic City, went to Washington, Pennsylvania, Orlando, Florida, San Antonio, and now Aggie Land and here in College Station. A whole lot of stops in between there when it comes to trips, but I've been blessed to work with the Orlando Magic was the first organization I worked with, and then the San Antonio Spurs, and now to be here at Texas A&M. I don't know if I could ask for three better places to work.
What has that journey been like now at Texas A&M and just being able to have that mentorship from someone like Dave South? And man, my heart goes out to Dave because I know this was going to be his final year of calling college baseball, and that didn't get to work out due to this COVID-19. But just what has that been like, being able to be around such a godly man, but just a guy with so much knowledge and who wants to give back to so many, Andrew?
Yeah, the way you say that is he's always said, for all the years in broadcasting and all that, in that association, he said, I am a child of God. And that impressed me. Interesting. When I got the job, I got a text from him. One of the first texts that I got was from him. And then to get a chance to get together, to be that welcoming, I think made the transition a lot easier. Look, I'm going to be honest here. The transition was happening no matter what. It just made it a lot easier. And I was very thankful for that. Same thing with Dave Elmendorf. And then to me, Rob, I think we throw the word icon around a little too carelessly, but I don't know if you can, just looking at our business to be someplace for 33 years. It just does not happen. So that tells you the person as well as the broadcaster, because if companies don't like the person, they're not going to keep you around. And to me, the moment you hear that voice, you knew it was Texas A&M, and to represent not just the university but also himself. That's why you look up to someone like that.
What's been some of your favorite moments, before Aggie Land? And then I'll talk to you about Aggie Land. I know now a couple of years into it, so you've already had some great moments. I've heard some of your calls, and just the work that you're doing there has been tremendous. But before Texas A&M, Andrew, what's really been some of your most favorite broadcasting moments? And I know you've had a lot of them.
Ooh, this is the kind of thing, Rob, that some people might think, well, it's got to be the 2014 championship. It's got to be, they think along those lines. And yet a lot of other times it's different moments and different people. Getting to watch Manu Ginobili every day, getting to be around the greatness of Tim Duncan every game, and getting to know them a little bit. I would say the loudest AT&T Center ever was what I thought it was going to be the loudest was when Kawhi hit a 3 in Game 5 to put the Spurs ahead, who had trailed early in that, until Manu dunked over Chris Bosh, and that was the moment you knew, and that was like the redemption year for that. But for us broadcasters, it becomes different. I can remember my first Spurs game was when I was first hired. So it was a game against the Knicks, and it's for different reasons. I wasn't really hired to do the Spurs at first. I was hired to do hockey and WNBA, but because of the broadcasting situation there, Saturday game, Joel Myers, Bill Land both had college football. It allowed me to get my foot in, and I think that really helped me while I was there. Same thing for me to work with Jack the Goose Givens in Orlando with the Magic, my first TV game there, to be able to transition into, as you were talking, a freelance broadcaster for the different networks. I've always been thrilled. A ton of partners. And it seems like everybody I worked with, everything was working out better for them. They were really, really fortunate. But just a simple thing of working in then the D League for Versus, which became NBC Sports Network and CBS, and to work with the great Lenny Wilkens. The thrill never leaves. I've always said this: when game night is not exciting any longer, when I'm not thrilled to go see stadiums and arenas, I'm getting out. That has always been a thrill to me. And I love when you hit the top of the hour, it's time to go and you're live. Just the people that I've worked with, those are the things that stand out, as opposed to Kawhi hitting a game-winning shot in Orlando. That was a great game. And on TV, you just let that develop. But more than anything, I think about working with Sean Elliott in San Antonio. That was the absolute joy of working with someone like that, making my job easier. But that was just 2.5, 3 hours of enjoyment.
It's funny you were talking about working with Sean Elliott. I was just about to ask you, what was that like working with him? I got to meet Sean once before I still have a hard time because I'm so used to saying Austin Toros, but an Austin Spurs game. He was down there, and just a tremendous guy. And as you were saying that, I just found a picture of you and him, and I put it up on the screen for our viewers right when you said that. Talk about working with him, because again, just another tremendous, just a tremendous man, a humanitarian, someone who loves people and loves helping others. Talk a little bit about that relationship and just how fun that's been.
See, that to me is a joy. To be able to do that along the lines. Look, we know, and Bill Land and I have talked about this. That's Sean's show. When that game's on TV, whether it's Fox, whether it's over the air, Ken's game, it's Sean's show. Now, he does not believe that, but it really is. He's the personality. He's the one. That town has embraced him. And I think it's because he also embraced it back. Like he grew up in Tucson and there in Arizona, but in San Antonio, it's been something different. To work with him though, is Sean makes you feel welcome. Like I'm trying to think about the first time I'm the guy who's trying to fit in, and to have him, and when he welcomes you into that broadcast, plays off you, is listening to you. We've done some blowouts. And you can go in a different direction and he will follow you. You don't have to upstage him. You learn how good your partner is to be able to work. He's great. He's really good, like a telestrator, just seeing the game, talking to coaches, and just that personality of Sean. And to be in that town for that long as a player, and he's now joked, he said, now, I'm getting to the point where more and more fans are seeing me as Sean the broadcaster and didn't even know that I played until you look up at 32 in the rafters and you realize, yeah, he did play. But I almost the ideal partner because, one, he's so good. I love that he loves to have fun, but never at the expense. Well, if there was expense, it was usually against his good friend Tim Duncan. But he just that personality. Sean, so if I say that Sean smile, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is how he is. I'm not sure I've ever seen him on a down day. It's just incredible.
It was once I was talking when I was privileged to meet Bill Schoening with the Spurs years ago, who's the radio play-by-play voice of the San Antonio Spurs, and talking to him, I guess it was about 7 years ago that I was blessed with that opportunity and just got to understand his passion for broadcasting, Andrew. And that's something that's so incredible because he told me, he goes, Rob, I've never really had one day that I haven't enjoyed this. Right. Can you talk a little bit about just the fun of being in broadcasting, and for you and so many other great broadcasters, especially on the radio, and I started to learn that this year with Sam Houston State, it's really our job to tell a story and to paint that picture. How fun has that been? Yeah,
it's a blast. And to back to Bill, who's become a great friend, not just traveling with him, not just some wine flights in different cities that we've been in. He has, I don't know if we've ever perfected, because we always chase perfection, but he's perfected the craft. And he's another one. It's never just a game to him. You know that he wants to be at every Spurs game or whatever game he's doing, whether it was the Longhorns in the past, whether it was Sam Houston. He told me he did Texas A&M baseball for 1 year. So, but there's always that, you can hear that joy. And that always comes off. He's another one who's incredibly passionate about what he does, but it's not all just some guys get so focused on that there's no fun involved. They almost get like they have to be perfect. You can hear the joy in his voice and you can hear the hurt in his voice as well. But I enjoyed getting away from the Spurs, or when we had the national TV games, because that was the only time I got a chance to listen to him. And now I get to listen to him a lot more, and I love to be able to text him during games. As for us, Rob, as broadcasters, I call it stealing. They pay us to do this, but that's not the reason why we do it. But to be able to be so fortunate to do something that we love, and to be around right now, for me, outstanding student athletes, to work with Dave Elmendorf every football game, to work with Dr. John Thornton every basketball game. And as you know, because I see your travels, there, that time together is sometimes even more fun. When your partner is also a great friend, that helps tremendously. So you enjoy those trips, you enjoy the meals before the game, you enjoy the highs and the lows. That to me is, I pinch myself. I said this after I got the job. I'm still giggling because when they say you're the voice of the Aggies, that means something to me. And you know what? The story is always going to be the student athletes. The story should never be us as broadcasters. And if more, to me, we can't control what's happening. All we can do, look, I get involved. Believe me, I want them to win. As I've always said, I look at the world now. It used to be silver and black glasses. Now it's maroon and white. But that's the joy. A simple case of watching this first year with Buzz Williams, watching that team develop, see those student athletes, see who they are in now March, when you got to see them in October during all their training camps. Those are some of the joys, and to be a part of it, and to know that you've got a fan base, a loyal fan base. It's a reason why I jumped at the opportunity at this job. There are a few jobs like this one in the country, that's for sure.
Well, Andrew, we appreciate you being here this morning. We're talking to Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, just a tremendous man, and sharing stories with us this morning. Joshua Harris from the Oak Ridge Disciple House is our Tuesday co-host. He's still on with us here. He's normally in studio, but we're sheltering in place here, man. I don't think I've been out of the house. It seems like 5 or 6 days, but Josh was giving me a hard time, Andrew, because he's a big Longhorn guy. But he said, I'm going to be nice and respectful. So, Josh, it's good to have you here, man. I'm glad you're able to be okay back there, Josh.
I'm sitting and listening, and sometimes, there's just a time to just give respect where respect's due, and to hear, this fine man talk about the passion and the gifts and the things that God has allowed him to be a part of. I just sit back and go, man, that's what it's all about. So, Andrew, thank you so much for, I can hear when you talk, it's not just a job for you. It's something that you absolutely wake up every day and you don't take it for granted. You don't, you're not big-headed about it. I mean, the doors that God's opened up for the people that you've been able to work with, and you just give them respect and the growth that you've seen in yourself and the cool moments that you've had. I hear it in your voice. You wake up every day and you go, I cannot believe I get to do this.
Yeah,
I love that.
God has smiled on me for a lot of reasons. And it's funny now that, taking the opportunity to take care of yourself while we shelter in place, you think about that. So there's not a day that I don't go for a walk and look up and just say thank you. And that comes from the family that I was raised in. That comes from the wife that I have met, my two children who are healthy, the job opportunities that I've had. I have asked for patience time and again, realized that God absolutely listened to that and said, you know what, you're going to have patience. you're going to have patience. And it just makes you a better person. I think a lot of that comes, Josh, to appreciate, you say it, I do appreciate all of this. None of this is given, but I also have understood working with teams that, yes, I've always said this. Yes, I'm representing a team, but more than anything, I'm representing myself. And, so you can't let that go to your head, because it's all fleeting. It's you get the opportunity. What do you do with it? And, an arrogance or anything like that. Rob, we've met people who, there's a self-importance there. Look, someone's going to take over for me down the line, and I know they're going to say, Andrew, who? That's just the nature of our business. So just enjoy it as much as you can, because I know how fortunate. Look, I know how much I work for this, but I understand how fortunate it is. And he has smiled on me more than a few times, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Well, we're continuing.
Yeah, Andrew, you said something interesting that I've always said through the years of getting to do what I do. And I mean, my story, I shouldn't even be sitting here today. I should be dead. First and foremost, with all the trouble I put myself in for so many years, and then I wake up every day, and I've always said, if I wake up and I don't appreciate what I'm doing, or it becomes something that I just do and not that I get to do, then I'm going to get out of what I'm doing, because it's not about the work anymore. It's not about the Lord anymore. It's not about being able to really save lives anymore. It's about me, and I don't want it to ever be about me. And so that you said that if I ever stop truly appreciating and enjoying what I'm doing, then I'm going to stop doing it, because it's not about the gift anymore. It's not about the blessing anymore. It's about me, and I shouldn't be doing it, because that's going to feed off into it. So I love that.
Rob will understand this. They call it play by play, not work by work. So when it becomes work, I quit.
Amen. Well, Rob,
Rob
can tell you about, you said about being patient and really waiting. And that's what we've been really pouring into Rob here, especially over these last months. And as he's kind of really taken a step of faith to do this full time and sold his business. And I keep telling him, listen, your blessing is coming. Just keep grinding, keep working hard, keep making it about the passion. And your doors are going to get opened up to you. And I've listened to you this morning talk about how that step-by-step has played out as you've just been patient, you've waited, you've worked hard, and God has opened up doors in his timing, not yours.
Right. It's interesting. I can give you the highlights of the resume, but there's also, 6 years in the Southern League doing minor league baseball and the international and the American hockey leagues. Again, the appreciation there is I've never worked below AA baseball. I have not worked below, if you want, AAA hockey and to work with the people. But there were a lot of those times during seasons, February on a bus through Canada saying, is anybody listening? What's the payoff going to be? And ultimately, you know what? I'm listening every night. Mm-hmm. So that is honestly, that becomes my judge. Am I happy with how the broadcast was? If I'm not, what are you going to do to get better? But you have all of those. That's why when the opportunities come, you run with them, you earn the opportunities. And that's where, the other appreciation is for all the players. And it's, I think during this time, reconnecting, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter, seeing a lot of these posts, some of these names from the past. I've always enjoyed the luxury, if you will, of a team giving me a plane ticket, a team giving me a hotel room, a team giving me per diem, going to other cities and meeting up with all these people that I have worked with in the past. It's great to see them. I'm glad that there are a lot of those friendships. I have loved seeing a lot of those minor league players become major leaguers. And now to see them either become coaches or maybe more importantly, really good dads and really good families. So that's the thing. I'm not here if I haven't been where I was. That's yes. What becomes important. But there were a lot of times where you're saying, okay, what's the payoff? And I think that's the importance of enjoying where you are. If you focus so much on your destination, you might absolutely forget that you've got a great situation. You can really make something. You can't just Rob, how many people have you heard saying, I've got to be in this market by time I'm 30?
Yeah.
That's not in your control. When you're 21, that makes sense. When you become 30 and realize, oh my gosh, in this business, you don't have that control. I'm all for goals. I get all that. Some of that stuff's out of your control. And you know what? You may end up being in a market. Like I think of everybody up at Fox Southwest has worked in Tyler, Texas and loved working in Tyler, Texas. And they became better people because of that. Maybe they go back to there. You don't know, but never forget, like you working in newsrooms and seeing that there's the sometimes naked ambition of, man, I've got to get out of here by April or just that kind of stuff. I get it. That's part of our business, but never forget that where you are could really be like I gave you the highlight. I love living in Orlando. I loved raising my kids in San Antonio, and I'm thrilled to be here now in College Station at this point of my career. So that sometimes you lose the big picture when you're focused so much on the destination like that.
I'll tell you the journey.
Well, you said something, and I'm stealing it. Absolutely. And you said we steal things from each other in a good way. It's not a bad thing. But I love what you just said. You said, don't focus so much on your destination that you miss out on the situation that you're in that will help you get to the destination that you're seeking. But focus on the now and don't miss out on great opportunities today. I absolutely love that. I'm going to add that to my arsenal.
Well, and Josh carries a lot of arsenal with him, so you got to watch out, Andrew. If you get to know Josh, man. That's what he does here. Zoom giving me a little message here saying that we're going to end in 10 minutes, and that ain't going to happen. We're just going to continue to run here this morning. Again, it's Andrew Monaco. We just ignore it. You know, in the IT world, Andrew, we just click the X and keep on going, man. We're working here. You just click the X and keep on. And that's a story for life, Andrew. As I'm talking to Andrew Monaco this morning, our special guest here on Good Morning Georgetown. Appreciate you joining. That's a story for life. When an X comes, see, I always, back in the day, my IT background, Andrew, I got to throw that in somewhere. When an X comes your way, just click it and keep on going. There you go. That's
you know what? That's the name of your book, isn't it?
Click the X and keep on going, man. Well, we're talking to Andrew Monaco here this morning on Good Morning Georgetown. Appreciate everybody joining us. Time now is 8:30 a.m. We'll keep it right here on KHGT-DB. It's your hometown station. Andrew, just an incredible story, your journey, talking about your passion. I did want to kind of rewind a little bit here because when you were with the Spurs, you had a very distinct privilege to do their post-game shows as well. I'm going to show a picture here of you and Matt Bonner. Talk a little bit about Matt. I got to meet the Red Rocket a few times, and he's a great guy. And you guys are eating some burgers here. It looks like you may be in the Kens 5 studio doing a little Spurs thing, but it's you and Matty eating some burgers here. What was it like working with him?
Matty is an absolute pleasure. We were actually rooting for Matt. Well, I take this back. We wanted him to keep playing, but we were rooting for him to retire because we knew his next step was going to be coming into television. So we could not wait for that. And for Matt, dealing with him as a player was a joy, a great interview. Although I told him there were always a couple times you were never really sure where he was going to go on the interview. But to me, that just made it comedy gold. He's brilliant. He's a terrific player and a really smart person. I enjoyed that so much because, there was a little bit of trust that he had to have walking onto that set, knowing that, but we knew we were going to take care of him. But Rob, when you're working with a partner, you don't know, but it just seemed to click, really seemed to get along. I've always said this. If you're tuning in to watch the Spurs, you're not tuning in to watch, except for the 3 people in my house. No one's coming in. And that's what I told Matt. They want to see you. They want to see Sean. It's not a shot at Bill or me. They want to see the Spurs players. The other thing, especially with Spurs fans, is they want you to succeed.
Yeah.
This isn't a type of thing where they want to see you fail. And he's able to bring out his personality. He still wears flannel, which proved to be a huge mistake once we get to April, and especially under those television lights. There are a lot of times he had to change immediately. He had the Coach Matty B, which he did, which went viral with the Spurs. It was just that type of personality, the combination of the skits. But you can't forget also that he knows basketball. And same thing, he's able to blend it. The personality comes out, the knowledge comes out, the friendliness, the autographs that he has signed. He and Sean are tremendous with that. And then we would do the Austin games. It's funny you say Austin Toros. His first D-League at the time, now G-League game, he said it so many times we were going to put a buzzer on him and just shock him if he kept saying it. But that was his habit. We have done Spurs games together. We did those Austin Spurs games. We would do the WNBA Stars games together. Matt loves basketball. So to hear Matt talk with, whether it was Dan Hughes or Matt talk with Vicky Johnson, just to talk ball, he appreciates basketball. I loved all the times that we were able to be together. And he was also a big part of Wish for Our Heroes in San Antonio, and to be a part of that through that outstanding organization. Also, there's that giving part. There's that very, very faithful part of Matt Bonner. So honored to call him a friend as well.
Well, we're continuing to talk to Andrew Monaco this morning, the voice of the Aggies. Appreciate him being here on Good Morning Georgetown as we've got just a little bit more time here. I don't want to keep you too long, Andrew. I sincerely appreciate your time. Kind of wanted to ask you, now from a sports perspective, I haven't been talking a lot about this because we try to keep things very positive and upbeat on this show, but, this whole COVID-19 situation, it's affecting a lot of folks, especially in the sports world. Kind of what have you been up to, man? How are you coping with it right now as a professional broadcaster? What have you been up to?
It'd probably be a lot. It would have been a lot harder if it were next year, because baseball will kick in for me next year, and to miss that. We were in Nashville when all of this came down at the SEC tournament, so we arrive on Tuesday, and we're hearing the rumors, but play on Wednesday. Now, for me, I say I got a little more closure to this and to the season because. We as SEC broadcasters, we divide the early round games at the tournament. And this was my first year to be able to do a game for SEC radio, which I was thrilled, mostly because I got a chance to work with an engineer friend of mine, John Kramer, out of Atlanta. So, but it was during that Wednesday, the first game is Georgia and Ole Miss, and there are fans, and we're hearing the rumors that, we're going to play the tournament in front of no fans. They're not going to be allowed. So as in between those games, they make the announcement that starting Thursday, round 2, there aren't going to be fans in the building. That doesn't go over very well. So Arkansas is playing Vanderbilt, and that is the second game. I have that game, and I'm working with Brian Passink out of Alabama. And then we're starting to hear even more rumors. We finish that game, go to Thursday when Texas A&M is supposed to play. Buzz has a walkthrough, and we do that in the hotel at about 10:30. He says, look, we can't control anything. If we play, we play. If we don't, we'll be, it's out of our hands. They go through this walkthrough, do a great job with it. They're prepared. Not 3 minutes after that walkthrough is over, go back to my room, and now I'm seeing all the tweets. Alabama had that first game. Their engineer is tweeting, the SEC tournament is canceled. Run into Ross Bjork, who was there, along with some other people from the athletic department at Texas A&M. And we're hearing that other conferences and what they're doing. So it was really fluid. minute by minute, it seemed at the time. So that was how that all came down. We ended up having Thursday there in Nashville, which was weird. You had fans there, but walking by Bridgestone Arena, and they're taking things out of the arena, which is odd. You never really see that part of it unless you work there. And there was a bit of sadness that, like, we were joking, like, man, the Kentucky fans are going to be so mad because they turned Bridgestone Arena into Rupp Arena South. And that was kind of the joking part. And then it became more and more serious, and the rumors were coming true. And then all that's happening. For me, still have the opportunity. We still have our Studio 12 show. Learfield IMG College is starting some classic games, beginning with the 2012 Johnny Manziel game at Alabama. We're going to have the LSU 7 overtime game. As I said, Studio 12 on Wednesdays and Fridays here in town. And Ross Bjork is also, we're doing an Aggie town hall. He's going to answer fans' questions. It's 12 minutes. Ross will ask that. He's going to do that every week. So you have that, and obviously the preparation and wanting to hear what's going on. We hope to prepare for August. There are plans in the works. There's no spring football, but we'll probably have a show when all this is over, review, preview, and then get ready for, hopefully the college football season.
Well, Andrew, appreciate you being on this morning. I may lose you in about a minute and 30 seconds because it's warning me that I need to upgrade to the pro version. I thought that it was cool to have 3 visitors. So, Andrew, before we let you go here in about a minute and 20 seconds, final. See, there's the clock going off right there, too. There's the grandfather clock going off. That's the official dean.
That's my house.
Yeah. So just some final thoughts here in the last 45 seconds, Andrew. I appreciate you being on this morning, friend.
No, it's you are so kind to have me, Josh. It's a pleasure to talk with you as well. And buddy, I wish you all the best, because when it comes to plugging and it comes to doing what's best for yourself, to take that leap, you don't know how much I want this to all pay off for you. And please know it's a joy to listen to you as well, because I know you love what you do and it comes through in your work.
Oh, appreciate that.
Thank you, Andrew, man. And it's been just amazing to hear you kind of share that whole thing that we were watching on TV about the games being, played, but then no fans, and then they shut everything down. And so I know you probably know a lot more than we do because of the business that you're in and preparing for your days ahead. And so, man, we just wish you all the best. I know this is, how you feed your family and doing a lot of things, and I know God will provide. But thank you for your words of encouragement, and your attitude this morning has spurred me on and encouraged me in a great way, man. So God bless you, bud.
Thank you, Josh.
Well, Andrew, again, appreciate you being on this morning. I was looking forward to closing it out a little bit easier than that, but there we go, and we just lost it. So that's what happens here whenever you have the regular version of the software. Again, thanks to Andrew for being on this morning. We're going to step aside here for just a few moments. I'll bring Josh back on as we've still got about 20 minutes to go. This is Good Morning Georgetown here on Hip Radio Network, your hometown station. We'll take a break, and we will be right back here in just a few moments. Stay with us, friends. We'll continue in just a little bit.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Isolated thunderstorms likely today, otherwise overcast skies. Highs around 70, easterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for isolated thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 55, mainly clear skies and quiet. Daytime highs approaching 74. Tomorrow, mainly clear skies. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frobley. Currently, it's 62 degrees.
Broadcasting worldwide from the Ashby Real Estate Broadcast Studio. This is Hip Radio Network, Georgetown, your hometown station.
Welcome back here. A little summertime in the LBC. Hey, friends, welcome back to Good Morning Georgetown. Rob Hipp here along with Joshua Harris. Thanks for joining us this morning. Josh, what an incredible man. I just really enjoyed. I hate that Zoom cut us off because I was under the understanding that 3 people could be on the free edition, and that, whenever it's free, that's what happens. So, Oh, hold on, Josh. Hold on. I got to get you back on here. I still got a little summertime playing in the back. There we go. So, yeah, I hated that, man. I really enjoyed having Andrew on. I wanted to end that a little more smooth, but I think it went all right, man.
I think he did well. We got to encourage him. He encouraged us. What an incredible man and personality. And you could just, like I said, you could tell he loved what he gets to do. And, man, I could have just listened to him the rest of it. Forget about me being on Tuesday mornings. I could have just listened to him the rest of the time. I know he's just got incredible stories, and what a great communicator. And so I enjoyed that, Rob. I did not think that I was going to be able to enjoy an Aggie like that, but it was that was a good guess, man. Great job.
Yeah, he's a tremendous guy and just a friend, and just so thankful to have him on. And he hit so many points, in the broadcasting world, and something that I've learned. I love being behind this microphone, Joshua, but not because of me, but because of the stories and the inspiration and the platform that we're so blessed for the privilege to have, because that platform can provide encouragement, can provide a hope to somebody. That platform, it's not about you or me. It's about what's focused on that platform, and it's the people, and that's what's so important, man. And there's some guys out there in the industry that just don't get that, and they're doing really well, and that's okay. That's their style. But for me, I have the conviction knowing that it's about everyone else, man. And it's like I say that phrase, we're not strong enough alone, and we're not, man, and we need each other. And just what a tremendous opportunity this morning to hear some great words from a great man, and excited about that, Josh. And I'm not talking about you, Josh. I was talking about Andrew.
Yeah, I understand. And I tell you what, I know that the Lord used him to speak to you and your heart about just being patient right now. And I wasn't buttering him up. I'm going to use that statement that he made about don't get so focused on the destination that you forget to live in the situation that you're in right now, because that's where the blessing comes. Tomorrow may not get here. Yesterday's gone. What can you do about it? Tomorrow may not get here because it's not promised to any of us. We know that. We're seeing that every day right now. Focus on today and what you can do today to make a difference in the situation that you're in, so that the destination that you're seeking is, attainable. Because if we focus so much on the destination, we may miss out on the great things God has for us to do today. And I see that play out every day. So that was awesome. I loved it.
We're here this morning. Andrew joining us a little bit ago. You can always rewind and go back and watch this. We'll put it up on our podcast. By the way, if you've got an iPhone, the really cool thing is you can go. Man, I just got sidetracked. There's been over 1 million corona tests now, COVID-19 tests. 1 million tests have now been conducted in the United States, and there's just people lined up. Man, it looks like a virus type movie. There are people just lined up, man, with wearing masks, waiting to get those tests.
I've been watching this morning, and there's a new one that's just been approved. I don't know how far approved it is, but it's a test now that they're able to give, and they're able to get the results in 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty
so
crazy.
That's an incredible step.
Well, yesterday the stock market's rallying a little bit. Today they're opening up 175 points down. Of course, opening about 15 minutes ago. Dow currently sitting at 22,150, down 175 this morning. It's going to be like that. If you're into the stock market, I don't do a whole lot into it, but it's going to be up and down for a while until all of this kind of settles down. I still encourage people, stay at home. Josh, you and I 2 weeks ago were talking about you coming out here, and then we just decided it's not worth it, man. It's really not worth it. And I'm thankful. I know we didn't get to do it last week, but here this week, I'm very thankful that we can still connect with you on Zoom. Because I'll be honest, man, I look forward to having you on the show on Tuesdays. I look forward to having Lee Ortiz on. I love saying his last name, Lee Ortiz, on Fridays.
I see it.
And it just makes it so much more fun because it's just me. People just tune out. They actually, I had pictures of broken monitors that were sent to me saying, "I just can't stand you, Rob, whenever it's you." And they broke their monitors and sent me pictures. I mean, it was horrible.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? When we really started to take this serious. And you said, hey, are you going to come in? I said, well, listen, I've instructed my staff and everyone that the Lord allows me to lead to stay in place. And if I don't do that and I'm out and about and I happen to pick up that virus, and it still could happen, I don't know God's plan, but if I don't do what I'm asking others to do, then how can I expect them to do that? And then, you know, I'm just an old school guy. I'm not real technologically savvy. But then, you know, I had a friend introduce me to Zoom, and that's how we've been having some different meetings and things like that. And so, you know, I'm glad I've got this now. I know how to use it. I'm not afraid of it. And so, man, if you'll have me, we'll get these Tuesdays going again, and we'll just be an encouragement to people during a very discouraging time.
Hey, it's a serious time, and we're all getting through this together. I was laughing, though, as Jose Franco just sent me a message. You know, I was talking about how people were breaking their monitors. Jose said, I just put you on mute and look at the pictures in the background. Thanks, Jose. I appreciate that, Jose.
Appreciate you, Jose.
I love that, man. I've known the Franco family a long time. It's good folks. Jose, good to see you this morning, brother. I always appreciate you. Wanted to say a special shout out to everybody who is joining us this morning here on Facebook as well. We've got a lot of friends that continue to listen to us on the Hip Radio Network app. By the way, if you're on Facebook, download the HRN app. That is the heart and soul of this station. I talk about that a lot, but it truly is. We have music 24/7, 365. This show, of course, from 7 to 9, Monday through Friday. You remember back in the day, the show was once a week, you know, when Ken and Ken, his name is still on it. Ken joins me once a week when he can. But, you know, this show used to be once a week or sometimes once every couple of months. And now, Josh, really trying to make this a full-time opportunity to connect with people, and that's why we do it Monday through Friday. And I'm so thankful to have friends such as you who are here on Tuesdays, Lee who is here on Fridays, and we're going to start filling in those other days so there'll be a guest host every morning. And I just love that because we're able to bounce ideas, and it's different connections and different cultures and different scenarios and different stories. It just makes it a fun and unique show, man.
I love it, and I love this opportunity. So, you know, we haven't talked much. We've got this a little bit of time left. What's kind of going on in the community now that you've learned about? I know you've been following a lot of you put up a lot of notifications whenever you hear something new about Williamson County and so forth. Kind of where are we now with you know, the shelter in place and what you're hearing, and kind of give us an update on to where we stand as of Tuesday.
Well, Josh, I really haven't heard too much more news. Williamson County Cities and Health District has now launched a new dashboard to keep up to date. There for the first week or so, I was publishing daily updates when we received press release information from the WCCHD, that's the Williamson County Cities and Health District. I was posting that information when we received it on hrngeorgetown.com almost daily. Now, we'll keep that updated, but we know that the coronavirus is here now. I don't think that there's any point of me every single day now telling you how many new additional cases there are. People are getting tired of seeing that. I'm just going to tell you, we do need to be concerned, and we do need to be mindful of that. We do need to shelter in place and really stay away from folks and stop all of this just being around each other right now. I know that that's hard, and I know it's tough, but we really got to be careful about that because Texas, according to a map, and this is scary, Josh, they're taking GPS data off of our cell phones, which I guess somewhere in the I agree we consented to that because no one ever reads those. They just say, I agree, I agree. They're taking cell phone data now, GPS data off of cell phones, and they're saying that Texas is one of the worst at social distancing, and that is according to GPS data off of cell phones. That is scary. Somewhere we agreed. Wow. Somewhere we agreed to give that information out. So,
wow.
You know, so anyways.
That is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not a conspiracy type person, and you know, I've always said if the government's listening in, I don't have anything to hide. Come knock on my door and let's talk. We'll have a cup of coffee, and I'd like to ask you guys some questions. See what's going on.
Yeah, you know, I've always thought, you know, because a lot of people get freaked out about all that, and I've always told even my kids when they talk about, you know, the government is following us and listening to us, because you know as well as I do that you can talk about something. It's the craziest thing. You can talk about something with somebody, or you know, talk about a product or whatever, and literally on your phone an ad will pop up or whatever. And so we know it happens. We know it's a part of it. But I tell the guys when they talk, a lot of guys will come out to the Ridge and they'll have, you know, this disdain for the government or for law enforcement or whatever. And they talk, and I'll say, listen, if you're not doing anything wrong, you're not doing anything, and I know we should have our privacy, but if you're not doing things that don't honor, the life you should be living, or the government or law enforcement, then you don't have anything to worry about. So I'm at a place now where I go, you know what? Do what you got to do. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do the things I know I'm supposed to be doing. And if I'm not doing something I'm not supposed to do, then I'm not worried about anybody finding out. See, I used to be really afraid of people finding out what I was doing and seeing where I'm at and those things, because I was living foul. If you're not living foul and you're taking care of your business, then you don't have a lot to worry about. But I get, people's privacy and not invading on that. And that's interesting that they're pulling that data. But you know what? We need to be doing a good job, because from what I heard on the news just 2 nights ago is that we haven't even seen the wave of this thing.
Yeah.
That there's a possibility that millions in this country alone are going to contract this virus, and up to 200,000 we could see over the next 30 days pass away from this thing. And that's our president saying those things.
Yeah.
And I believe in him. I believe in our president. I don't care what your views are. I believe God has allowed him to be in place because he tells the truth. He calls people out on their stuff. Now, he's not perfect. Nobody is. But when he says something, I take listen now, because he's not a guy that's going to give us fake news. And so we need to really take this serious.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with your statements, Josh. And it is a time to be serious, man, and just really listen to what we're being told, because if we can all do that, we're all going to be okay, and it's going to take some time. I tell you, man, my dad, I've been talking to him. I got him hooked up on Google Duo because he's an Android user like me. So on the iPhone folks out there, you have FaceTime. On Google, we've got Duo. Or I don't know, it's a voice call. It is Duo. And I talked to my dad. He's in a nursing home. And I told him, I said, Dad, you look like Santa Claus right now, because his beard is like way down. He could be part of the Georgetown Beard Club. He could be the eldest member of the Georgetown Beard Club if he wanted to.
Love it.
But his beard is way down. He looks like Santa Claus because it's gray now. And I've been talking to him, and I'm so thankful for technology in that sense that I'm still able to talk to my dad during this whole thing, because they're not letting him in or out of nursing homes right now, Josh.
Yeah, no, that's it. They're the highest risk. My mother-in-law lives there at the house with my kids, and they're really being careful. She's in that category where it's a lot. They're a lot more susceptible to that, and so here's the bottom line as we kind of close out this morning. I'm praying for every single person I know. I'm praying that people will listen, be careful. When you've got to get out to the parks. Thank goodness they haven't closed places that we can go with 1 or 2 people that are in our family, still get exercise, still walk our dogs. In my neighborhood here, people are still out and doing, getting out with their kids and things, but they're being very careful. You don't see a lot of gathering in yards and socializing. So it's okay. You don't have to lock yourself in your house. But what I heard Judge Gravel say when you were there covering it is 90%. Let's try to just shut down the socializing and the social interaction by 90%. And if we'll do that, we can beat this thing.
Josh, we got about 5 or 6 more minutes. Wanted to give you an opportunity for a couple of minutes. It's a little This Day in History today. Do you still have those today?
I don't have them pulled up anymore, right, Rob. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Well, hey, we're going to rewind then, because I was figuring that you didn't, because we've been chatting about so many different things this morning. We're going to go back to the National Day. What is it today? We've already talked about it's the National Tater Day. It's the National Clams on a Half Shell Day. For all of you science friends out there, you notice how I didn't say nerds or geeks, because I fit into that category. And I don't want to, hey, man, I love you, because I'm right there. I'm a nerd and a geek, man. But I didn't say it because I love all of you. But for all of you science friends out there, today, I don't know how they came up with this. Somebody was extremely bored. Today is National Bunsen Burner Day. National Bunsen Burner Day. Josh, how do you think that you experience National Bunsen Burner Day? You know how I experience it? I just kind of I've never really thought about how would I experience National Bunsen Burner Day. Here's how I experience it. Well, never mind. I had something I was going to show there. Wait, here it is. Here's how I just kind of
Bunsen burner is what you cook on when you're camping, correct?
It's what's scientific. Whenever you're like burning stuff in a lab, the Bunsen burner. Here's how I celebrate it, Josh.
Chemical compounds and things like that.
I just kind of lay back and then I turn this up right here. Yeah, it's National Bunsen Burner Day. There ain't nothing better than a little fire.
Oh, Rob.
National
Rob,
Bunsen Burner. Oh, yeah. You know what you know about that National Bunsen Burner, baby? Little bit of gas on that flame. There is
Rob,
no Bunsen
I tell
shame.
you have,
And here we go, Josh. You ready? Here we go. Ready for this?
Yeah.
I like science, yes. National Bunsen Burner Day. Ooh, hey. Ooh, hey. Did you like that? That was my song right there. There you go, bro. That's what I do on National Bunsen
Rob,
Burner Day.
you know, you're one of the funniest cats I know, man. Let me tell you something. You call yourself a geek, but if there's somebody that I can call, because I am so not technologically gifted in any way. People ask me, what kind of files do you use? And, I still say, well, they're manila and they go in a drawer.
Well, they're paper.
And I got to touch it and feel it, man. But if there's somebody I need to call when it comes to technology, computers,
and I won't
high-tech
answer.
things like that, I am so glad that I know you, Rob, because your years and just of experience and situations, I'm glad to know you, man. I really, truly am. Not just broadcasting, but technological situations. I know I got a guy that I can call and he can help me through it.
Well, you think you do, but, I signed a non-compete, so I can't even talk about computer stuff anymore to people. So thank you for that. I'm so thankful for that opportunity and appreciate you. Hey, Josh, we got just a few more minutes here. Wanted to shout out to Matt McRobert joining us. Matt's the kicker for Sam Houston State University. I got to know Matt last year. He's from Australia, man, and just a great guy. He actually called in to our morning show. I believe it was around New Year's, and he told us about the Australian New Year. And that was really cool hearing him when he was in Australia visiting family back at the end of December, of course, in January. So, Matt, good morning to you. Lyjan Wilson
morning,
joining
Matt.
us. Pete Doris joining us this morning. Brian Burkhart, good morning to you. And I wanted to say a special good morning to Sonnet Medrano this morning. I knew Sonnet way back in the day at Terra Nova Church, and just excited to have you on the show this morning as well. A lot of other friends joining us. Michael Price joining us. Josh, I wanted to mention Friday, we're going to make this a weekly thing right now because it was so popular last week. Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It'll be the second weekly, and on Friday, the second weekly Hip Radio Network virtual dance party. We had over 100 people join us for that with the music. We don't do it on Facebook because we don't have the music licenses for that. We're only licensed through our station in the app. But again, on Friday, we have that. I know that you're sponsoring that along with Tammy Katowski over at Stone Deck. We've still got several sponsor opportunities. That's one way that we can promote your business. People have asked, Rob, what can I do to help? Well, look, you're helping me, but more importantly, I'm able to help you and promote your business during this time. And so, Tammy, appreciate you, and as well as you, Josh, for sponsoring that. We still have quite a handful of sponsorships available. It's only $50 on Friday night, $50 sponsorship. We'll mention your name, your business name several times throughout that virtual dance party. Clear the living room, Josh. Are you going to dance?
Two things I want to say. Number one, I loved watching the videos that people put up, their live videos or their videos that they put up of them dancing and just getting a little fun time in with their family members. That was just awesome. Some of the older couples and things like that dancing and doing the waltzes, and your mom talking about how nobody was there to dance with her, but she danced by herself. And
she said she was dancing with the cats.
We need any kind of joy that we can get with this. There's one other thing that you never talk about, Rob, hardly at all. You've been promoting us as small businesses, as nonprofits in such a huge way over the last couple of weeks. Here's what I want to say. And you never talk about this much, but I know that this is everything to you, and you have put everything you've got into being a community-minded broadcaster, starting the station from scratch. Please, if you're listening out there and you can help with anything, Rob didn't ask me to do this. He's probably going to be mad at me for doing it, but please support Rob and his effort at this radio station, and come alongside him, because he's feeding his family, his fiance, and paying his bills from just whatever the Lord brings in for him. He's not doing any kind of radio, sports broadcasting right now. He's lost all of that. And so please, I'm going to do it. I'm going to support, but please help Rob, pay his bills and things like that by supporting his work.
I appreciate that, Josh. Yeah. It always comes back, man, and we're all about trying to promote this community and help out where we can, and so many wonderful partners that help make that possible, such as you and so many others. Josh, 9:01 a.m., final thoughts here. I did want to very, very quickly, I told you it's National Bunsen Burner Day. It is also National Crown Day. I can't even say it. How do you say it? Crayon? Is it crayon or crown?
Crayons.
Crayon. I've always said crowns, but it's crayon?
Yeah. It's crayon. Yes, I believe.
Crayon. So it's National Crayon Day. It's also National Prom Day and National Equal Pay Day. And so those are your national days. Can I tell you
something, boy? I'm going to just shout out to all the seniors out there that are having to really go through a hard time. I mean, you work 12 years to get to this year. And especially when you're in high school, the seniors that are not going to get to experience, maybe it looks like, definitely proms, but also their graduations, and even the seniors from college. And our prayers go out to you and all of you that you've worked so hard, and not to be able to experience the prom night and I know it's going to save some lives probably as well, because prom is such a dangerous night for some. But the graduations, we hope it all works out. We want you to know that we're proud of you. And even though you may not get to your commencement regular days and those graduations and so forth, we want you to know how hard, how we recognize the work that you've put in, and that your graduation means nothing less just because you don't get to walk across the stage this year. Keep working hard, and God's got great plans for your future.
Well, Josh, appreciate you. This has been fun, man. It worked out really well. Besides the 45-minute limit on 3 people or more, it worked out really well this morning, and looking forward to doing this again next Tuesday if you're able to, brother. I appreciate you, man.
You and me both. And let me say this, Rob, thank you for the way you support us at Oak Ridge, the way you constantly are telling people about what we're doing, not just about the money, but about the work we're doing. We're going to continue to do it at this time. We're not taking any new residents. I don't think I know anybody. Keep getting calls. Do you know anybody? Nobody at this time is taking new residents. So we pray that you'll find a safe place to go. As soon as we're able, we're going to open these doors back up. We're going to continue to help men. Thank you to every single person that supports our work through these last 10 years. This is a crunch time for us. Please help us if you can. But if not, your prayers mean more to us than anything else, because God will provide for us. We'll continue the work as long as he wants us to. Rob, thanks for letting me be with you this morning. Good morning, Georgetown. Go make it a great day.
Hey, you're right. And one last thing, the picture that was behind me this morning, Josh, I wanted to say this because I didn't get to give him credit this morning yet. The picture that you're noticing behind me here on the backdrop this morning, that's from my good friend David Cody. It is Mount Baker, 2 hours north of Seattle, almost to Canada. He was talking about a flyover of Mount Rainier going into Seattle. It's a 2-hour drive north, and you can see the Canadian side there. Beautiful scenery this morning. Josh, thanks for being here, my friend.
Love you, brother, with all my heart.
Once again, Joshua Harris here on Good Morning Georgetown. Appreciate him being part of our show as always. And for that, we will sign off. The time now is 9:05 a.m., as we'll have the show back on tomorrow morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Make sure to join us. Friends, if you haven't already, as we talked about earlier on this show, if you are a business that is in need, we absolutely want to hear from you. We want to know what your needs are. You can find out more information to submit those needs at hrngeorgetown.com/support. Again, that website is hrngeorgetown.com/support. I'm putting that right now on the Facebook live stream. That is if you are a business who has a need. We're going to hold an auction in mid-April here on HRN that will benefit those that have signed up on that form who have needs. Now, if you're an individual or a business also, and you would like to donate auction items to support these businesses who are struggling, or even to help yourself, that is perfectly okay right now. If you've got products and services you would like to promote, put them in our auction. There's an opportunity for you to keep 50% of the revenue, donate 50% to the rest. You can even keep 100% of the revenue. It's completely up to you. For more information on how you can donate items, we need them right now. You can visit hrngeorgetown.com/auction. That is hrngeorgetown.com/auction. Friends, as I end every broadcast, reminding you today that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there today needs you. Again, thanks for watching. We'll be back on the air tomorrow as we continue Good Morning Georgetown. We'll have the Georgetown Beard Club joining us on Thursday. I believe, and we're still getting confirmation, we may have Robert Hall tomorrow as our guest. He runs a really awesome nonprofit organization that is helping out kids, and we want to hear from him, and we'll get that confirmation. Reminding you, I'll say it one more time, that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own, friends. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. lend a hand of support. Somebody out there today needs you. Good morning, Georgetown, and God bless. We'll see you back tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7 a.m. Thanks for joining us.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
Get used to social distancing because President Trump now says more time will be needed for the nation to deal with the coronavirus. The president had earlier said he was hoping to have the country open for business again by Easter, which is April 12th. Now he says he's extending his social distancing guidelines to at least April 30th. Speaking at yesterday's White House briefing on coronavirus, Trump said he believes the nation will now rebound by early June. Jonesboro, Arkansas, cleaning up after Saturday's tornadoes. Small businesses there are already eligible for disaster loans and assistance set up for coronavirus-19. Governor Asa Hutchinson.
We're dealing with a tornado disaster and recovery, but at the same time, we can't forget that we're going through a virus disaster.
This is USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
You hear the commercials, and it sounds, pretty hokey, to be perfectly honest, but I definitely have more energy. I don't get sleepy as early as I used to. I have fewer aches and pains. I haven't had any colds. It seems to be working, so I'll keep going with it.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off on any new preferred order. Go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont saying President Trump needs to be more careful about what he says after mentioning over the weekend he was considering a possible mandatory quarantine for New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. The president later said the mandatory quarantine was not necessary, but the Connecticut governor says...
And those words have created a certain amount of confusion. And when you lack clarity... that can create confusion, and confusion can lead to panic.
Florida is now screening people from areas hard hit by the virus, setting up checkpoints on major highways. Authorities are going to be on I-10 near the Alabama state line and I-95 near the Georgia state line, looking for people with plates from Connecticut, Louisiana, New Jersey, and New York. Amazon workers in New York plan to walk off the job today, claiming the online retail giant has mishandled its response to the coronavirus pandemic. And this is USA Radio News.
I've told you I get the best sleep of my life with my MyPillow, but I'm not the only one. Mark in Las Vegas told me the other day, we were talking on other business, he says he went to MyPillow.com, clicked on the radio listener special, and used the promo code USA. He got a great deal on a MyPillow, and he is enjoying his sleep now. You can too. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, use my promo code USA, and I promise you, you'll get the best sleep of your life, or you get your money back.
A big-name country music star has died from coronavirus. Here's USA Radio's Wendy King.
Yeah, there's something women like about a pickup man.
Joe Diffie, who had a string of hits in the 1990s, has died after testing positive for COVID-19. Diffie on Friday announced he had contracted the virus, becoming the first country star to go public with such a diagnosis. Diffie's publicist, Scott Adkins, said the singer died in Nashville, Tennessee, due to complications from the virus. He was a native of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and was a member of the Grand Ole Opry for more than 25 years. He had hits like Honky Tonk Attitude, Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox, Bigger Than the Beatles, and If the Devil Danced in Empty Pockets.
Welcome to Earth, third rock from the sun.
He shared a Grammy Award for Best Country Collaboration for the song Same Old Train with Merle Haggard, Marty Stewart, and others. Joe Diffie is survived by his wife Tara and 7 children.
Rock from the sun.
He was 61. For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
After 11 seasons on ABC, Modern Family will be signing off for good on April 8th. Before it does, the network will be airing a documentary about the series called A Modern Farewell, which will take a look at the show's run. And for USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Isolated thunderstorms likely today, otherwise overcast skies. Highs around 70, easterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for isolated thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 55, mainly clear skies and quiet. Daytime highs approaching 74 tomorrow, mainly clear skies. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frombley. Currently, it's 62 degrees.
Broadcasting worldwide from the Ashby Real Estate Broadcast Studio. This is Hip Radio Network, Georgetown, your hometown station.